It's now round 16, if you can believe it, in NPL Victoria. Another Friday night at National Stadium. It's a big one tonight. Hume City will take it on the line.
It's
to the NPL Victoria ranks.
Great to be back, Adam. Thank you for the warm welcome. You know, when you've got a free weekend back in Victoria, there's only one place you want to be back, and that is not just in the NPL Victoria, but back here for a game like this at National Stadium. A really interesting fixture, not a top six battle, but definitely a battle with big importance in the top six. You know, Hume, they've been sitting in that spot just on the edge of, you know, the postseason zone, and all of a sudden, the last couple of weeks and months, the Barbarians have sort of been amassing at the gate, wanting to take that spot off them, and Green Gully, through some good form in the last few weeks, have emerged as one of those teams. So, you know, a game that maybe a couple of weeks ago we'd been looking at one that, you know, Hume would be favoured. All of a sudden, this one feels like anyone's guess.
Hume City's last home fixture 2 weeks ago against Preston. They were going for their 5th consecutive win in NPL Victoria on that particular night. Went down 1-0, got the draw, and were very lucky to get the draw at George Andrews Reserve last week against Dandenong Thunder. So just 1 point from their last 2 appearances in NPL Victoria. Yes, there was a good cup win in among that as well against Oakley. And speaking of Oakley, they got the job done against Gully last weekend. Gully had an equaliser at 1-1. Pretty deep into the second half, and we'll talk about the team news, Lockie, in a moment. It was Josh Hope that did score that 1-1 equaliser, but Oakley then scored twice, not too soon after that, to get the win. So Gully suffering there. Loss after getting 2 consecutive wins coming into that particular fixture. There is just the one change for David Chick tonight back here at Hume City, and it's Cillian Kifley that's come in for Josh Hope, who's off the team sheet entirely.
Yeah, it's a big absentee, not just because of the quality headed goal that he scored last week, but he's been in a good run of form, and, you know, very central to a lot of the good things that Gully do, particularly in the middle and front thirds. Interesting change as well to bring in Elion Kifley to replace him for his first start this season. Not a like-for-like change necessarily, but, you know, Hume, I think, will be very pleased to see Josh Hope unavailable, because they have welcomed back some new faces as well, Adam.
Yeah, 4 changes for Hume City as the ball is sent out wide. And it's Domfey that goes for a run here. Just holds things up. Plenty of Gully players in front of him. Gully in the sky blue. Do you want to call it sky blue kits here tonight?
Not entirely sure. It's quite a fetching number. A bit of teal, a bit of sort of that neon yellow. I have to get the binoculars out. Having a little look.
The normal kit wouldn't normally clash. Shamir Abdullah, he won the gold medal here at Hume City last year, gets called offside. So those 4 changes for Hume City. It's Burkhan Kurta, Mark Ochieng, Mason Ishak, and Rob Harker that are in and out. Yildiz, Domfey, Lazarus, and Bingham is how we initially had it, but just looking to confirm that it does look right. It does seem right out there. Starting 11 for Hume City tonight. They've been known to make some late changes to their 11 in recent times. It is Harker up front, who scored the very late equaliser against Dandenong City. Not only for David Chick, but Amir Abdullah, that Hume cohort that moved over to Gully over the summer. Yeah. First game back here at National Stadium. And that does include Amir Abdullah, the gold medalist from last year.
There's some real familiarity, obviously. David Chick and Amir Abdullah, the 2 sort of ex-Hume names that leap off the page, but obviously assistant coach Craig Filer was the understudy to to David Chick in those Hume days last season, and they've actually had a Hume City legend, I think, join their coaching staff not that long ago as well, in Shane Rakshepi. So one of the favourite sons of this particular club returning tonight. I think he's somewhere off in the background doing some analysis from a higher vantage point. Hume City look to get things going through the returning Mason Ishak. It's a booming switch into the path of Godfrey Debele, but comfortably watched out of play in the end by the New Zealander, the fullback, Declan Wynn for Green Gully. He expects Adam in lead up to this game a closely fought battle. It's certainly been the case when they've met in Victorian football over the years. Meeting number 39 in Victorian football tonight. Green Gully just edging the head-to-head mark, 17-15. And they are tight in the head-to-heads, but usually the games themselves are tight too. Of those 39 games, 12 1-0 scoreline. So often it can just be the solitary goal that makes the difference. As Isgrove looks to get on the march down the left. Debele making the run into the central area. And it was his touch that was final. It's a tantalising ball in from the left-hand side by Lloyd Isgrove. Winger to winger. The touch from Debele, who has only scored the one goal in NPL Victoria, was just a little wanting that time around.
Watching starting on the left, and more often than not we see him on the right for Hume City. It's Liam Driscoll in goal this evening for Gully. The customary purple kit, the keeper kit for Gully.
I love the exotic colours, Green Gully, clearly.
So Dulla getting some early touches, playing back, and the ball sent forward here. It's Bayou just outside the box. The pressure did come late there from the in-form Mason Ishak. He's displayed some good form at the back for Hume of late. As we know, no Michael Weir in goal right now for Hume City. Ascroft will bring this out. It's very still evening here, but rather chilly. We were talking off air just briefly about you're not quite used to this chill compared to comparing the New South Wales climate to the Victorian one, and some of your recent work in NPL New South Wales.
I've been here all of an hour, and the neck scarf, the fingerless gloves, they're already back. It does have quite a unique chill, this particular venue. You don't tend to get a lot of wind, but because it's off in this big clearing where you've got the planes flying overhead, a lot of just still, chilly air. Probably trickier conditions for commentators than the actual footballers. They'll be loving playing in weather like this, and on a pitch of this size, Hume love to get their passing play up and running when they're on their big pitch here at Nasiel.
Even the pitch itself not looking as good as it normally does either. Normally one of the best ones in the league here at Nasiel Stadium. Haven't had too much rain of late in these parts, so Kane playing back. No way through here for Hume City right now. Ishak one way then the other. Has to go back to Camilleri, and he's under some pressure. Finally does clear away. Nothing coming easy from the back for Hume. Harker's little ball back was nice though. Debele had Curta completely open in the middle. Isgrove then commits the foul. It was a bit sloppy there from Hume. And as I said, Lockie, nothing coming easy.
No, certainly not. And that was sort of two moments that could have been much bigger than they actually were in pretty quick succession. The stiff press from Yanucci on the inexperienced reserve goalkeeper starting in the last couple of weeks in Damon Camilleri. We saw him caught out a couple of times under the pressure from Thunder attackers last week, and clearly that's something that Gully and their coaching staff have picked up in their scouting, but in their commitment to the press, they pushed numbers forward and nearly left a gap on this broadcast side for Lloyd Isgrove. If Godfrey DeBelle could have found him, but in any case, they are flash points and nothing more. It's lofted forward by Reardon. Parker able to get in and make his presence felt at the second time of asking. Forward has left this pass short though. And eventually Adisu Bayu is thwarted by Hume captain Harry Ascroft. The two 14s coming together, and as talented a player as Adisu Bayu is, formerly of A-League fame with Western United, is always going to be undersized in a physical battle with Harry Ascroft. Ocheng on the left, looking to activate the switch. And the second ball broke kindly the way of Reardon. And he'll get his reward for his commitment. Sort of almost getting his head over the footy there with a free kick in Hume's favour.
It's Calvin K. Berg in charge of proceedings tonight. That's a new name among the referee ranks as well here in NPL Victoria. This is Joe Ford. Another ball that gets blocked on the way through. Kicked it straight into Bayu. DeBelle will play back to Ford though, and Hume will retain possession. We'll go all the way back to Camilleri. Ishak. Isgrove. Not much room to work with, and Nugent making life awfully hard for Lloyd Isgrove. Not easy release either. Curto then getting tangled up, and play is stopped. Curto, who's come back to Hume City this year after a stint with Stanton on Thunder and been excellent in midfield. And will have been Hume's best performer this year in NPL Victoria for the most part. The Ascroft ball out toward Mark Ocheng. Guiding it down. Reardon. Harker getting involved as well. It's going to fall to Lockhead for Green Gully. Neat ball through to Abdallah. Options left and right here for Abdallah. Eventually sent toward the left, and a late whistle on Kifley. So Green Gully pushing the button early here. Hume still settling in. The Hume City free kick taken quickly. Isgrove, the long ranger for Harker. All he did was pick out Liam Driscoll.
Definitely more of a chess match feel to this one early doors. Both sides still feeling each other out, trying to ascertain what gaps they might be able to exploit. And from a Green Gully perspective, their answer might be, well, the gaps we can exploit are there. It's just a matter of actually staying on side before the pass actually arrives. Chance for them to do exactly that here, as Bayu couldn't work it through the legs of Ocheng. So Gully gained territory through Crooks, and it's great to see Matt Crooks starting from kickoff this evening. He was taken off after what looked, on first viewing, a pretty nasty potential injury in the first half against Oakley. Deemed fit to start tonight. Great news for a player who has had his injury battles. As Lockhead shapes onto the left, booms the ball across for the run of Kifley, who is twisting and turning and blocked by the Hume City defence. Good coverage that time by Joe Ford. Isgrove in the corner. And the Welshmen find a way out through the industry of Harker. Well, only momentarily. Hopefully we'll be able to pick it up through our microphones this evening, but there will be no shortage of talk on both benches. surprised David Chick didn't walk to the opposite dugout this evening. The former Hume man. Plenty of chirp early. Ocheng. Harassed by Bayu again, who's been a handful without any danger to the Hume goal. DeBelle tries to turn on the Jets and is caught from behind. An easy decision for the referee. A big thanks to one of the Hume assistant coaches, Halil Hussain, who's just come across to clear the VO from your picture if you're watching at home. I'm pretty sure you called this game, Adam, the reverse fixture back in round 3, the 1-1 draw. That was a tightly fought affair at Green Gully Reserve, and the early evidence here at Nasiol is that it may well be a pretty similar affair.
There's a fair bit on the line tonight. Green Gully can leapfrog Hume into 6th on the table with victory. Abdallah with no room to work with. It didn't quite fall to Keithley. Kane will play towards Isgrove, and they'll look for the space here, Hume City. Harry Ascroft, with one of his 2 goals in that first fixture at Gully. Equalizer from Amir Abdallah. That was all the score.
Team in, get level! Watch the switch! Watch the switch! Number 1 inside! We've got too many out! Big, let's go!
Oh, the more things change in NPL Victoria, the more they stay the same. Harry Ascroft popping up against Green Gully from a corner kick. And in a game that has been, in the opening 17 minutes, one of very fine margins. That is a goal as good as gold for Hume. And their captain, fantastic, just rose highest, and has to be said, having watched it back on the replay, rose pretty easily. Came through without much of a challenge, and now the gauntlet has been thrown down to Gully. Harry Ascroft's goal separates the sides, and Hume will progress here without any additional pressure, but yeah, it was a surprise, the ease with which Harry Ascroft was able to to launch himself. He didn't actually have to do too much running or movement. He sort of stayed in that front post area, and the zone that Gully had going just weren't able to collect him. As Burkhan Kurdar is going to look to catch the keeper out. Trying to get the fancy footwork going for Harker, and Gully will eventually deal with the danger, even if Hume are in disbelief as to why the free kick was given away. You can see the referee, Calvin Berg, just making the point that there was a pull of the shirt, and that's what he picked up. But you'd have to say, Adam, from those set-piece situations, Harry Ashcroft is almost the A1 priority. He's the player you don't want to miss, and unfortunately for Gully, they did miss him, and the Hume captain has shown them why you don't do that.
It's a genuine weapon up the sleeve of Rick Marchioli from set pieces and from the corner. He's outscored teammates that are recognised strikers this season. He's now got 3 in NPL Victoria, Ashcroft, and here he is at the back, doing it at both ends. We go down the list. Godfrey Tabele just has 1 goal. Josh Bingham just 1 goal this season. And Usel's just got 1 goal as well. He's outscored all of them. Domfey comes off the bench a lot. He's only scored twice this year.
Yeah, and even, the magician Lloyd Isgrove, I believe Ashcroft now with that third of the season is only 1 behind him.
Isgrove on 4 for the season, as was Kyoto, who just had the ball. So the tails are up now for Hume City. The ball in. Ballet Isgrove, it just went over his head. Not so much the aerial threat, Lloyd Isgrove, compared to Ashcroft. Harker's certainly got some height about him. A tough ask there for Mir Abdullah to keep that ball in play. He's come off a little worse for wear.
Not a lot of sympathy from this former teammate, Mark Otching, who to say to the referee, he's fine, don't worry about him, no medical attention required. And no love lost between Mark Otching and his old left-hand side partners. Ishak. Oh, good moves for a central defender, not bad stuff at all. O'Kane pings it across, but it stops in its tracks by Wynn. Forward inside for O'Kane again. It's been a great story at Hume City in the last few seasons. An academy graduate who's become a regular. Ocheng with options, but can't get the beating of Crooks. Abdullah will keep this alive, and he and Ocheng come together again. And this time, the former Hume man has gotten the better of the current one.
So what is the Green Gully response here? They had the better start in the opening exchanges, and they give away the lead. It was played down well by Ashcroft. Sent high in the direction of Isgrove. Had some space out the back and looks to advance forward. Went central to Harker. Kurta was the option wide. Set the task though, just keeps it in. Not much room to work in though for Burkhan Kurta. Kocheng will take this throw for Hume City. Harker presenting up. Crooks working hard at ground level for Gully. Did well to win it back. McDougall. Slightly pressured ball there from Lockhead. Newgate had the time and space though. Presenting up was Bayou. Ball going over the top, and yet again the flag goes up on Green Gully. That's happened a few times already.
Yeah, still dialing in those runs in behind the Hume defence, who, to be fair, have managed them well, but it's been an interesting adjustment this in the middle portion of the season. Adisu Bayu playing in this number 9 role, which has been for a number of seasons a problem position for Gully. Good Isgrove, delicate pass, lovely exchange between he and Harker. As Debele makes the run inside. Isgrove threads the needle. Harker, his touch, just evading him at the crucial moment, and his easy pickings for Green Gully, who actually, despite having lost their last game here at Naciol Stadium, arrive in this part of the world with a pretty good record at the venue. Just the one defeat. That defeat last time out in their last 6 visits to Broadmeadows. Contested by Reardon, but to the benefit of a teammate. Judd McDougall, 7th appearance of the season for him, launched long in the Crooks direction, so the two fullbacks will come together here, and Crooks will just get the angle initially, but Ishak elects to take the touch with Bayu on his hammer. Abdallah, delicate pass, Lockhead, the scoop. Abdallah will give chase and reach it. Still going, it's Amir Abdallah, and Camilleri eventually able to collect it into the breadbasket, but had to get it right because Adisu Bayu was coming in and lurking with intent. Debele. Away by McDougall, a firm one though from Kurdar, and now Harker looking to turn. Kurdar back in the side tonight, the favourite son, wearing the number 10, picking out Aaron Reardon. Not really his territory, it is Isgrove's though. Onto the right, trying to buy that yard is Lloyd Isgrove. Instead, picks the gap fantastically. Harker. Reardon is going to glance to the back post where O'Kane was waiting, and he has shown that goal-scoring touch. The midfielder in recent months, it wasn't there for him that time around.
Did nearly sneak up on him late. That ball took a wicked turn to the right in the direction of O'Kane. Couldn't line it up though when he connected. Does have 3 goals to his name league level this year. So Harry Ashcroft goal in the 17th minute. That's the difference here so far. The battle for the top 6 here tonight. And this is Matt Crooks. Bayu presenting up. Plays that ball. Placed it well for Bayu. I did say Bayu before when I did mean Kifley. Apologies for that. In the front third, Green Gully get a look at a free kick here. Will come in to have the chat with Amir Abdallah. Not that he'll need too much advice here. Only searching for an equalizer here. Gets the green light now. Low ball in. O'Kane was the one clearing out. holding up strongly here. Kane going in. Comes back out to Crooks. Abdallah. Tightly marked by Ochieng. Finally finds some space in the middle. Gets the shot away, but Camilleri was right in behind it. It was straight at him.
And splayed palms from assistant coach John Clemente in the Hume technical area, because if there is one thing that this Hume side would know well, it's the danger of Amir Abdallah when he is allowed to cut on to his left foot and unload. And they've been pretty good at denying him that opportunity. And at that time, just not enough covering defenders closing down the space swiftly enough. Luckily, that one just lacking the conviction. Perhaps a chance for Green Gully to chance their arm from the set piece again. Yanucci's delivery, venomous but repelled. Debele's clearance unconvincing. This is a crucial 50-50. Crooks is able to win it. Firm challenge, but a fair one in the eyes of the referee from Burke and Kurdar. And Abdallah, not quite on the same wavelength as his forward compatriots, so Hume able to regain possession. As they sit in the exact spot that they found themselves in the reverse fixture, leading 1-0, courtesy of a Harry Ashcroft header. That time, it was Amir Abdallah who brought Gully level. Could that happen again, or will Hume double their money? Isgrove with Paddock to work with, and a teammate in Debele, but the pass was a bit of a short one, but it's still going to provide some potential profit for the home side, as it's turned out of play by Declan Wynn for a Hume corner, and this is a danger situation for the visitors. Kurdar to take, and all eyes on Harry Ashcroft and the rest of the tall timber. This one is towards the back post. It's going to sit here for O'Kane. Oh, wow. That would have been something from the young midfielder, who's had two very close cracks now.
That attempt was far more impressive than the previous one. He was able to keep it low. It wasn't far off at all. In the top right corner. It's Green Gully feeling the heat right now. Wind going one way than the other. He's going to slip through to Keithley. Yanucci dispossessed. Only momentarily though from the Gully perspective, and the long ranger from Lockhead. Nothing amounting. They've been able to fire some shots away in the last couple of minutes, Gully. One going directly to Camilleri, that one off target. At least asking the question right now. In the Harker direction. Won't reach him. It's Bayu on the outer side right now. Played back in. And did Camilleri get a glove on that? He did. Tipped it over the top. And Gully in a corner.
Super hit from Gianluca Yanucci. Just out of nothing, really. Camilleri had to be on his toes, and was.
Grove was marked against Keithley. The ball came in pretty quickly toward the near post. Looks has to go in behind the Hume City bench to retrieve the ball. Good little spell here for Gully. Some quick ball movement. Nugent. Isgrove getting in his way. O'Kane goes in pretty solidly as well. Up against Bayou. Crooks trying to find that gap to get the ball in, which he did. Iannucci now. Can he fire away again? Gets onto the left boot. Not much power behind it though.
Some promising siders in the last few minutes at least for Gully. Finding those pockets on the edge of the penalty area. And finding players who can hit them on the edge of the penalty area. Iannucci not quite catching that one as well as his previous effort, but at least they're getting into those situations, Gully, because that was something they'd, to this point of the match, been finding a little tricky. Definitely feels like they are missing the extra attacking threat from midfield that Josh Hope is able to provide. Amir Abdallah is on the march, but across swiftly comes the goal scorer Harry Ashcroft to snuff out the danger, buy his back for some time. Crooks. Kiflay. Little angled ball. Always second best was Abdallah. Nugent comes up with the footballers. Two players rose high, and Nugent was trying to do it all alone. Abdallah ran into a cul-de-sac, was scythed down, and the referee obliges with a free kick. So Gully mounting some sustained pressure in the last few minutes at Nasir Stadium. Other than that speculative shot at the top of the box, tipped away by Camilleri. Hume defence have not been given too much to think about thus far. Is this a chance for that to change? 10 minutes of the first half to go. The man who won the free kick, Amir Abdallah, will be the man to take the free kick. It's the kind of angle where, well, a set-up play looks the obvious option, but when you can bend the ball like Amir Abdallah does, you don't discount a direct shot from this sort of position. Expectation at the feet of Amir Abdallah, who does bend it into the penalty area, but it's easy pickings in the end. Hume surge their numbers. Win. Floating ball for Iannucci. Nugent comes in to provide support. Abdallah delivers at the left. It's a great run from Adisu Bayou! Gully level. A goal that will mean the world to Adisu Bayou. He's had a torrid run with injuries since arriving at the Cavaliers, but he makes his mark at Nasir Stadium, and we are all square before the halftime break, just as we were last time they met.
Ball just fell his way in the end. Deflected straight back to him. Easy to tap in from there. And Adisu Bayou gets the equalizer here. The goals coming pretty much 20 minutes apart here. And Lockie, it did feel like that goal was coming. Gully had complete control of the game in the 5 minutes or so leading up to that goal, and it involved multiple other chances that went begging. Some watching on, perhaps a fair reflection of this game, the 1-1 scoreline. Others may feel that Gully have been, by some margin, a better team here so far, but did concede the first one here tonight. They've done well to work themselves back in. We've got a good one brewing at Massey Stadium. Two teams who feel like they belong in the top 6. Baby really feeling it right now. Inucci blazing well over the top. They're humming right now, Gully.
Yeah, they certainly are, and you know, it's such a big thing for them to actually, as you said, make that pressure pay, because you see it so often, particularly at this level, and sides who aren't exactly, you know, burning the house down with goals in a season. They have those moments of sustained pressure but aren't able to make it pay. Gully were. And that has changed this game. Forward. He's gotten his way forward here. Distributes to Bele. Those two having a little game between themselves at the moment. Is there an opening for the cross, or will they have another crack? Ford. Space opens up. It's Joseph Ford driving the ball in. Harker, surely! Yes! And in the blink of an eye, Hume City's lead is up and running again. And it's Rob Harker with a second goal in as many games. This one against Thunder, a moment of absolute quality. The one this week, all too easy for the Englishman.
And the arguments continue here on the sidelines as well, because it was him who, in the eyes of all the Green Gully officials down here, did handle the ball in the lead up to that goal. Did take a look at that replay, Lockie, and even though it wasn't all that overt in my eye. Might have been something there, but it wasn't called or not seen. And he's ended up putting Hume City back ahead. Some controversy here at Massey Stadium. I must say, it's a recurring theme here whenever we come here in recent weeks. Handball calls either being called unnecessarily or blatant ones being missed. Either way, it's been an ongoing theme here at Massey Stadium in recent fixtures. And it was Harker who allegedly did handle it right here by the touchline. You can scroll back on your YouTube feed and make your own judgment on it. That little back flick there from Abdullah, inventive stuff. Couldn't flick it all the way through to Lockhead though. Can't get it through to Kifle O'Kane. Tabele does well. Harker. Being tracked by Crooks the entire time. It fell back Green Gully's way. Abdullah around one, keeps on going. Ocheng looking to chase him down now, leaves it behind. Once again, it's the Gully officials that are upset. Plenty of space here for Ford. It's livening up here at Massey. Eastgrove. O'Kane. No space. Has to retreat back a little bit. Reardon. Nothing will be coming of that. Not sure if you've seen it yet on replay, Lockie, but sort of forearm touch for Harker. That's what's being argued. And a minute later, the goal goes in off the boot of Harker.
Well, irrespective of handball or not, I think it one thing that was for certain, Gully will have their case that they will plead, but I think the only definitive thing is that Judd McDougall, if he had his time again from that cross, which did dip at an awkward height for the defender, would want to have his time again, because it was a complete miscue to allow Rob Harker to just comfortably stroke it home, but certainly intensified the feeling here at Nasiol, because we had Gully obviously up in arms about the handball, and then within a minute heard them giving their objections to what was a very firm attempted challenge from Aaron Reardon on this right-hand side. Didn't make contact, but it did look rather malicious initially. Gully are playing angry at the moment. Will it work for them? Nugent over to Crooks. Gully mainstay. Abdallah. Feel he's still yet to make his mark in this game. Amir Abdallah. Good runs on offer at the back post, one of whom is Yanucci, and that's a firm shot, well struck, still alive in the penalty area, and cleared eventually. It was Wynn, I believe, who really caught that at the back post. Got 2 balls on the pitch at the moment, but play continues. Reardon and Nugent lock horns. Play allowed to continue. Regaig. Stoppage time. Awaiting arrival at Nasiol Stadium. Pia Guderian is going to add 3 more onto what is building into a very entertaining first half and a very entertaining game. Ishak sinks the slipper. And Nugent, well, committed from Kurdar, but without profit. Regaig. White's a win. Bayou short. Their goal scorer. Can he turn provider? Oh, it's back through to Adisu Bayou. And went for the backheel chop to Amir Abdallah, and perhaps Yanucci at the top of the area was the more enticing option. And this has been bubbling away. The feistiness on the broadcast side, and eventually it does produce a sanction from the referee, Maurice Nugent. The Gully captain is the man first into the book this evening, and that is a card that not specifically for him, but in this game feels like it has been coming for a few minutes now.
It's the war end of the stick in the eyes of David Chick right now in Green Gully. Curta goes down, waved off by the referee. Lockhead will take it away. Abdallah makes his run down the right side once more, and once more it's Ocheng for company. Amir Abdallah, good first touch, and then just looking again to open up that space on the inside. It will be a corner.
Good stuff from Adisu Bay, from Amir Abdallah, I should say, who just refused to give up despite all the snapping that was happening at his heels. I would have liked to have seen that one. What might have happened had there not been a deflection on that one, as Berkan Kurdar, I believe, goes into the book for some willing feedback to the referee.
Abdallah goes all the way to the outer side to take the corner that he earned. Plenty of feeling here. I suppose that was to be expected. And that's got in eventually. Kifley was right there. And for the second time tonight, Green Gully equalises. It fell to his feet. All he had to do was tap in. What a dramatic first half at Nasiol Stadium.
Well, after a slow start in the opening 15 minutes, it turns out all we needed was the first goal to really kickstart this contest. It's been entertaining football pretty much from the minute of Harry Ashcroft's opener. And once again, from a crossing situation, luck's a fortune for Green Gully. A player in the right place at the right time, doing what needed to be done, and well, they'll be frustrated that they've had to come back from behind twice in this half, Green Gully, but they will be buoyed by the fact that they have at least been able to do it. And a great moment for young Elioan Kiflay, who gets his second goal in the space of a few weeks, and it is his goal that sees Hume City and Green Gully head to the sheds level at 2 apiece after 45 minutes played at Nasiel Stadium. A game that was ticking along at a fairly leisurely pace in the opening 15 minutes before Harry Ashcroft's deja vu header from a corner situation to open the scoring against Green Gully. Well, that was really the powder keg for what was to come in the final 30. Gully answered back through a first goal in a long time for Adisu. Yeah, absolutely. From what you're saying, I picked a good weekend to come back and picked a good game to come back to because, yeah, there has been a lot to dissect, and it sort of built and intensified as that first half went on, to the point where, particularly prior to that late 2-2 equalizer for Gully, scored by Elio and Kifle, it was getting quite heated. And so I'm interested to see, having had well, I say 15-minute break, but Hume did take their sweet time coming out of the change rooms at the interval. How much heat will this fixture have retained from that point? I'm sure the desire to get 3 points will certainly be there for both teams because, as we said in build-up, the winner of this is going to be in 6th spot, pretty much. DeBelle. Marauding down that right-hand side, twisting and turning, but not deceiving the Gully defence that time around, although does get some benefit for his industry because it's been turned out of play by the 16-time all-white Declan Wynn. Subs warming up for Gully. 2 for Hume as they take the corner short. Kerdar checking back onto the right-hand side. Marshalled well. And Yanucci will clear. Just by a bit of time for the Gully defence to bring their numbers up the field. But curious to observe that of those 2 Hume subs who are warming up, Josh Bingham is one of them. Does loom large as a potential second half sub, as Kifle would have found himself offside, but the second ball forced the Gully anyway. Lockhead, he was industrious in the first half, the Scotsman. Yanucci, his influence on the game grew. It's a great pass for Wynn. Can't fashion the cross in. Blocked well by Ford, and Gully will answer back with a early second half corner of their own. I think we've got a flat ball here, Adam.
Mir Abdallah with the replacement ball toward the top of the area. Nothing coming in the end. Regate. Didn't quite pull off the Harry Ascroft from the air. Here is Ascroft looking to work his way up. Lockhead will come away though for Gully. The central ball ends up at the feet of O'Kane. DeBelle going back to Ford, but he mishits. It's a win. Yanucci and Ford here. Another Gully corner. There have been many now for both sides this evening. Seconds in a couple minutes coming up here for Amir Abdallah. Gully, who have been down twice already this evening. Ascroft, Harker, Bayu and Kifley are the scorers so far here tonight. Amir Abdallah, again, penetrating ball. Danger not fully averted just yet for Hume. Musgrove coming in. This is Wynn. Placed it, just lobbed it for Abdallah. And it landed right at his feet. No way past the ballet though. Will be a Hume throw. So Gully looking to claw their way into the top six. Had a really good run throughout May. Only recent losses on the road to Preston and to Oakley. Ball landing above our commentary scaffold. And the scoreboard here. Ford advancing forward. Harker the target. O'Kane ripping it away. Chip over the top there. A good one for Harker. Renegades right with him. It's a corner. Exchanging corners right now. Erkan Kurta will take it. Once he finds a ball. A very early substitution coming up here, perhaps. The fourth official. Here's Poya Gadarian. He's putting some numbers on the board here.
Fancy we're potentially getting a double change here. Bingham and Domfay, the two players who have been warming up, their names both on the board.
Kurta corner. It fall back. Fair way. Oh, Chiang! Oh, that was a wonderful strike. And equal to the task was Liam Driscoll. Quality all round. And another corner.
Well, they're as rare as diamonds, Mark Ocheng goals, but when he does score them, they are usually very memorable, and that sort of ball striking ability is exactly why. Very good save by Liam Driscoll.
That was a world-class hit. And Driscoll was up to the task. Once more we go. Driscoll has to get a glove on it once more. Ball cleared out back with Ocheng, but play will stop. A Gully defender did go down and is still writhing in pain here. So play will stop. This might be on the more serious end. I haven't seen any sort of foul call here. Just stop play because the Gully man had gone down. Trying to spot the number on the shirt.
I think it's Crooks.
Did look like a 5 or a 6. It can be confirmed it is Matt Crooks. He is up and okay, so that's good. No bookings that we saw either, Lockie.
A couple from the first half, of course, but yeah, I think Crooks maybe just catching a stray leg as a bunch of boots went towards the ball, and it was actually a very good clearance from him after a bit of an unconvincing punch from Driscoll at the first time of asking. Ford was strong in the air, but could only find one of these teal Gully shirts. Win, clever. Gully have come back from behind twice tonight, yet to lead this game. They're going to have to deal with a new look front line for Hume that is on its way shortly. Kifley. Bayi, the two goal scorers combining with a touch. An errant one from the Gully 14. And a needle threaded for Rob Harker as Driscoll tracks back. Harker! An Englishman on fire in Hume City colours. Rob Harker at the double. Hume City back on top. His first was a gimme, but that one was out of the top drawer from a man who now has 3 goals in his last 2 games. what a player he is proving to be here at Hume.
Go back to the late equaliser last week as well. It's 3 goals in an hour of game time for Harker. He's the hot hands right now for Hume. Those 2 plans of changes still haven't occurred yet. For Rick Marchioli, does the 3-2 scoreline change the plan for Hume City? Gully behind again.
I would imagine, Adam, that Rob Harker would have been one of the 2 players set to be called, given there were 2 players who can play up top getting ready to come on. Just going to give a shout out as well to this man on the ball, because it was a great finish from Rob Harker, but the ball to split open the midfield and defensive lines from Josh O'Kane, the assist was top notch.
kick as well at Dandenong Thunder, if memory serves. To go out. McDougall overturn Reggae. Win down the line ball. Keithley. Uden came in quickly. The referee didn't have to think too hard about that one. Busy night in NPL Victoria. Only some surprise results coming through. There's a dandy derby going on as well. Plenty of drama here. 5 goals already in this one. Gianluca Iannucci sneaking inside the box. Blocked by Ford. Has to go back and fetch it. Then fell over. And Ford very easily took it away. Switching it up. That ball might just skid away from Tabele. Just taking a sneak look at what's happening around the grounds on yet another busy Friday night. And it's another dramatic one, it seems, in NPL Victoria, Lockie.
Yeah, certainly is. Heidelberg fighting back from 2-1 down to take a point at Olympic Village against St Albans. That's a shock result in its own right, but the Dandenong derby did not disappoint. There's a 98th minute goal, secured victory for Thunder as Debele is on the march. Final touch. Oh, where's this one going to end up? It's on the left-hand side of the corner flag, so it's going to be a deep throw for Hume City, but yeah, it is a Football 24 readout of events that needs to be read to be believed. A red card for Dandy City in the 64th minute, the opener in the 75th for the Thunder, a 92nd minute equaliser for City, only for Thunder to go and win it in the 98th. Quite crazy.
It's quite the season that Thunder are putting together under Adam Pittick. City nearly fell victim to Thunder last weekend. Not for the late heroics of Rob Harker. If we're done with the scoring here tonight, Harker's again delivered victory for Hume City off his boot. Based on what we've seen here, Lockie, I don't think we're done just yet. Late goals, a very common feature here at Nasiol Stadium. Quite often this man's responsible. Isgrove, Ford, Ashcroft, a scorer here tonight. Ishak will look to play the diagonal long in the direction of Lloyd Isgrove. Wynn gets in the way for Gully. A shove on Iannucci, committed by Ford. Played on quickly. Another flag. He was offside by a long way there at Isubayu. We are finally going to see this change for Green Gully. Paul Hodges about to come on. This is the first move of the night for David Chick. Gianluca Iannucci is the one coming off.
little surprised to see Yanucci's number called there.
Just really starting to work his way into the game, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's been in and out of the starting side this year. He hasn't been as regular a first 11 player as we've maybe seen in previous seasons at Gully, but I thought he's been really energetic in that midfield role. But chance for Paul Hodges on his return to show what he can do as Reardon releases Ocheng. And back to Reardon. First time delivery. Bingham lurking! And the grandstand went up. Expectant of a ball that ultimately never bulged the net, but that is a warning sign. Survive for Green Gully. Header from Josh Bingham, just a whisker away from his 5th goal against Gully in NPL Victoria. This one on a nice edge at the moment. You suspect Hume will be home and hosed with the 4th. And Gully have shown that they cannot be discounted while trailing in this fixture. Actually seen in the 39-game history of this particular matchup many barn burners with both sides scoring goals. I think that the 3-2 scoreline may actually be the most ever scored across the fixture. Could have more here. Ford drills it in, flashes at the back stick. DeBelle was lurking, and turning into trouble was Nugent. Bingham collects. Can't find a way past Wynn. Kifley can come the other way. Lockhead left a bit short for the Scotsman. With some of the absentees they've got, Green Gully, is that the bench is, with the exception of Hodges, who has come on of a fairly youthful complexion. Bayou across the Lockhead. And the favour returned. A great save by Camilleri. And launched away by Hume. Gully perhaps just starting to turn the screw in search of yet another equaliser.
So it's Bayou out wide. Ocheng stays with him. Just enough pressure on him. Won the ball back for Hume City. Michael Domfe will be the next man to come on for Rick Marchioli. This is right as we were about to get a Hume City change. Does look like it's Aaron Reardon's number on the board here, and I wonder if he's the man that's down right now for Hume. Does look like it is Reardon that's down right now, not getting up, and his name is in the red digits on the 4th officials board. Domfe waiting to come on. Going back over the last decade of fixtures between these two, we've had 3 instances of a 3-1 result. That's the highest score we've had between these two on 3 different occasions in the last decade. So we have blown past that tonight, obviously.
Yeah, I think that there has been games with 5 goals in it before, but I think a lot of the times it's been one team scoring the majority of those. It's not often between these two. We see a lot of tight contests, but not a lot of tight goal fests, and they have given us that tonight in an evening of NPL Victoria that has not been short of goals. We've had at least 3 in every single one of the 4 Friday night fixtures. They do love a Friday night fixture, the NPL Victoria clubs. Even Hume traditionally used to a sort of early 7 p.m. Saturday kickoff. Yep,
that's right. Did have one of those kickoffs. I think it was against St Albans a couple of weeks ago. That was coming off a Monday night fixture prior against Victory. So it made sense to play that game in the what was a traditional time slot. And they went right back to the 8:30 Friday for the Preston Lions game here a couple of weeks ago. Gully have occasionally flirted with some afternoon fixtures as well. But we are accustomed to seeing them in the Friday night slot as well. Early kick-off though. Talk all day about NPL Victoria fixturing, Lockie. It's a fascinating topic. And yes, Friday night football has been the key feature in season 2025.
I think many of us are still recovering from Anzac Day, where almost every single game in the league was on a single evening.
Yep, it was a wet day, that one as well. So Ashcroft going out toward Bingham and further wide for Isgrove. All the big names getting involved here for Hume City. Ashcroft leaving it behind initially, and it just got away from him. Ultimately got the plaudits in that one-on-one battle. It will be a corner. Mentioned in the first half, Hume had a run of 4 consecutive wins, and 5 if you include Cup as well. Get a recent win in the Cup here against the NPL Victoria champions as well. Just a little slump in the form though. Down 1-0 to Preston here a fortnight ago. Lucky to escape with a point at George Andrews last weekend. It was deep into that stoppage time. They got the late equaliser. Curtis ball. All it did was pick out Driscoll in the end. And Gully been very, very stop-start this year. Just 2 draws among their first 5 results this season, 3 losses before David Chick scored his first win. It was a 3-0 win at home to the local rival Melbourne Knights. Hume City ball here. And again, a bit of confusion as to what's going on here. David Chick has not been happy with the officiating tonight. You say, like, you don't know much about Calvin Kyberg. It's a new name among the refereeing ranks here tonight in charge of proceedings. Another name I've seen in NPL Victoria.
I can't say I have either, but what I will say is that any referee, regardless of experience, I think is going to have their work cut out for them when you have 2 coaches who are vivacious is maybe a word I could use on the touchline. Both very free with their thoughts and passionate in their delivery. As Gully going to make a substitution here. Disubayu, their first goal scorer, off in place of Braden Portelli, the 20-year-old, on for appearance number 5 of the season. With their youth graduates who got his first taste of NPL Victoria football against Manningham last year. Forward. Domfey making himself a nuisance. Nugent forward in hope rather than in intent as Portelli gives chase. Across comes Ishak. A bit of a miscommunication between he and Camilleri. The ball spills. And Braden Portelli is off the bench and straight into the book. And while there may be some of a Gully persuasion that would argue that that's a yellow card too easily awarded to the youngster who's only just come on, it is not the first time that Camilleri and his defence have had that sort of a moment in this game. Yeah, it's been unclear who's going to come and receive the ball first.
That was bizarre and unnecessary on many fronts. That entire moment there in front of the Hume City goal, but we'll move on. A yellow card for the man who only just came on, Braden Portelli. And Camilleri in for Michael. We are right now in goal for Hume City. Sent skyward. Tally underneath. Ashcroft there with him. Lockhead looking to make something happen with absolutely no room to work with. He eventually shrugs off Lloyd Isgrove. Lockhead still going, but Ashcroft getting in the way. Ball still in dispute here. Bingham goes down. He wanted to take the advantage, and advantage was allowed to be taken. So the contact there was from McDougall. Was it McDougall, or it might have actually been Hodges? Who for a moment looked like he actually came off second best in that collision. It's all happening right now at Nasiol Stadium. I say it often when we come here, you cannot take your eyes off this one. Ball going only as far as Lockhead. Win going first time. Hodges! Damon Camilleri was awfully worried about that. It strayed wide. It stayed along the ground, and it wasn't far off going in.
Yeah, not a single person on the Hume City bench without their heart in their mouth at that one. Paul Hodges can hit them from those ranges. Scored a really great goal to open his NPL Victoria account against South Melbourne on the 25th of April. Couldn't have come much closer to doubling his account that time around. Gully need to find a second wind. And we're going to find a leveller for the third time in this fixture. DeBelle looking to unload, and eventually Driscoll is able to gather. The problem that Gully are going to find themselves in is the longer this game goes on, the more of the clock Hume will try and manage, the more numbers will go behind the ball at some point. They'll find their equalizer sooner rather than later. Abdallah. The play switched. Regaid. 13 minutes remaining. Gully searching for a route to equal footing again. And hoping they can put this to bed. Isgrove in search of Domfay, but Regaig always favoured. It's the fourth game in the last 7, Hume, that has had a 3-2 scoreline. The question everyone is asking at Nasiol Stadium is whether or not it will stay that way. Abdallah under pressure. And eventually the whistle arrives. This is testy relationship with ex-teammate Mark Hotching continues in this game. They have been at each other's necks this evening, but certainly very close and very fiercely by each other's side. Easy pickings that for the Hume defence. Kerdar collecting from Bingham, and Isgrove just didn't see the ball at his boot on the blind side. Scored 4 times in the final 20 minutes of games in the last couple of weeks. Have Gully, including 3 against Dandenong Thunder. They've done it late against some fierce opposition. Can they do it again tonight? Isgrove. Measured for Domfay. O'Kane. Kerdar. Hume City have flipped the field here. Hotching can get on his bike. Well thwarted though, great sliding challenge. Hume are going to pick up the football anyway. Despite the best efforts of Amir Abdallah. Kerdar. prods it goalwards. And much to the chagrin of this Gully team, the throw goes in favour of the opposition. DeBelle has worked hard but ran out of real estate. And we're getting to the point of the game where Gully are going to really need to push the pace. They haven't kept many clean sheets this season, Hume, and they haven't tonight either, just the one this year. They, on a game-by-game ratio, haven't coughed up too many. Abdallah, outside of the foot pass. Portelli returns. Is Grove in to steal the ball of his former attacking compatriot, Domfey. He's got a goal drought to break. He's got a game potentially to kill. Hits the deck. Corner ball. Hume City.
Abiora Eze is looking like he's going to be coming on soon for Hume. Hume City coming into tonight lucky for a top 6 team to be in the minus for goal difference. That high up on the table. Somewhat telling of how their season has gone. As it stands right now, they go to +1 for goal difference. No, even I should say right now on their season. It will be +1 if something happens here. No calls for handball going unheard. Gully worried about the clock here. There's still plenty of time. Driscoll wanted to advance that ball forward as quickly as possible. There's the shorter route this time as it comes back to him. Regate switching over. Crooks. Portelli. Not sure he meant to play it through that way to Hodges. It still worked out though. Win. McKifley's in a good spot here. Has already scored once tonight. Ishak came in. It's going to be a corner. Listen, Ishak has been so reliable at the back for Hume City this year. Could make an argument if not Burkhan Kurta. Maybe Aizen Ishak has been Hume City's best performed player this year. It's going to be a corner. Mir Abdallah has had his moments tonight. Hasn't been cited too much in this second half as much. The corner ball, and he's never put into play. For the gold medalist, Eze is about to come on for Hume City. Godfrey DeBelle has his number on the board here.
And given the laboured fashion with which he went to chase down the short option at that Gully corner, I'm not surprised that his name is the one ultimately called for Obiora Eze, but I'm not surprised he's looking laboured as well. He ran himself into the ground tonight. Even if he didn't get a goal to show for it, it was a very hard-working performance from Hume's number 9.
All right, so Hume holding on to this lead here. Time is becoming an issue if Green Gully want to take all 3 points here. It's 2-2 at half-time. Robert Harker scoring the second of his goals here tonight. 10 minutes into the second half. Josh Bingham sees yellow. Gully wanting to go quickly. Calvin K. Berg not ready. I have it at 2 cards apiece this evening. That's how he picked one up as soon as he came on for Green Gully. 10 or so minutes ago. Crooks had to stretch to keep that ball in play. Was able to get it back. McDougall going wide. His target was Amir Abdallah, but it never reached him. Curta and then Bingham. Gully's starting to feel the need to really get a move on now. They've only lost consecutive league fixtures once this year. They're staring down the barrel right now. They've not had a good away record this year. McDougall, it was Driscoll rather, finding himself a long way out of his area. Just looking a little frenzied right now, Green Gully.
Yeah, they are. And it's been a weird night for the goalkeepers, to be honest, because both of them have made a couple of quite impressive fingertip saves to deny some powerful shots, but I feel both of them with the ball at feet haven't looked totally comfortable in patches this evening. Eze, the late sub. Mid-season signing last year from the Western United Youth Academy. Not much on offer for him in that corner of the field on that particular occasion. It's a corner of the field that Hume will be pretty happy to leave the ball in. David Chick is changing the shape here. They'll move to a 3 at the back, and the ball is out as Hume are already playing it around in the corner. We are still 4 minutes from stoppage time at Nasiel Stadium. All of this is working out very nicely for the home side, who, with a return to the winners list this evening, could really set themselves up for a solid run with some winnable games upcoming. As Hume are going to continue to keep this ball locked by the flag. We'll be back at home at Nasiel next week to play Dandenong City before Altona Magic away. Should allow them potentially to build some real form going into a big game against Heidelberg United, the ladder leaders. As Kurda does deliver. Up and away at the front post. This is all working out very nicely for a Hume City side hoping to chew more seconds away from this game. Two arms aloft from Burke and Kurda. Delivery flat. Headed clear. And now Abdallah is on the march. And no sooner could he get his feet firing, could Ochen come in to deny him. And just as Green Gully looked to take their free kick quickly, brought back by the referee again. Time really becoming the enemy of Green Gully now. Do they have another late stand left in the tank? It's inside for Hodges. His pass, not the desired one. Isgrove. Well controlled by Domfe. It was a hot football from Kurda. How much rush are Hume in for a fourth? Well, Domfe is on the march. He's still going. Michael Domfe still going again. Driscoll makes his body big. Domfe's long wait for a third Hume City goal continues, but it wasn't for lack of trying. But you have to look at that situation, Adam, and say, how did the Green Gully defence allow him to have the shot in the first place?
He was taking on the world there and somehow won. All he didn't do was score. Wow. So Hume City want to run this clock down. 6 minutes will be added on. Good news perhaps for Gully. Domfe has a go under him. There wasn't much happening in behind him though. Played down well there by Wynn. Now Lockhead's going to go quickly. The run's being made by Keithley, but it's going to eventually run through to Damon Camilleri, who elaborately jumps over the top of the ball. Six minutes added on here. Over the head of Isgrove. There's a fair bit on the line for Gully tonight. They'll be perched 8th on the table if this result holds. Hume up to 5th for the moment. Lockhead. Win. That's by Ford. Lockhead makes the run. Dispossessed by Ford. Did well. Did Joe Ford. Back with Reggae. All sent in by Nugent. Lockhead. That looked pretty close from this angle. He's been diving left and right tonight, as Damon Camilleri. He's even had to tip some over the bar at times. He's been awfully busy. Two have gotten past him. But it's still his side that lead here as time starts to run out on Green Gully. The fixture will just open up a little bit for Gully now. They've got a portion of the season coming up where they should go in as favourite in their upcoming fixtures. It will be Port Melbourne next as they return home to Keilor Downs after a couple of games on the road. Curta gets in front of Portelli. The Hume City bench very happy with the defensive efforts of late. It was Joe Ford earlier. Burkhan Curta that time. It's going to be a well-earned win, this one, for Hume, if they can get to the final whistle. It'll be another Friday night fixture here against Dandenong City next week for Hume City. Been able to bounce back here tonight. All sent down the line. Is it last chance saloon for Green Gully? Win only as far as Ford. SA just applying enough pressure on Win there. Bingham goes down, and it's starting to get away from Green Gully.
Yeah, every one of these minor infractions, Hume City will extract as much time out of the clock as they can on each of them, as is their want. You can see that Calvin Berg is making the point that he's adding this time on, which Josh Bingham will be receiving medical attention. You mentioned how the fixture opens up for Gully after this, a series of games where they could really build some form. Port Melbourne at home next week before a trip to Endeavour Hills to face Dandy City. And then it's off to the Croatian sister club of Hajduk, Melbourne Knights. And you would favour them in all of those games, but they would take some real confidence into that stretch if they can find something late on here. But you do wonder if that Scott Lockhead chance, which wasn't a million miles away, is their last. He's been really good tonight, Lockhead, I think. He's been a perennial favourite of David Chick. He's followed him to many a club, Pascoe Vale, Dandenong Thunder, Bentley Greens. And now here, it's a Green Gully reserve, and you can see why David Chick likes him so much with the way he's put himself about tonight. As Oh, that just takes an unfortunate touch off the back of Jalil Regaig. And it's yet another moment this evening where it feels like everything is coming up Hume City.
It's just been a series of little wins for Hume in the last 5 minutes, hasn't it?
Yeah, but they all do add up to chewing away a big chunk of 6 minutes of stoppage. We've mentioned some of the late heroics Gully have showed in the last couple of weeks. This is going to be an all-timer if they pull it off again. As the ranks are closed, SA, a lash, a wayward one, and it will allow Gully to pick up possession. As the initial 6 minutes of stoppage time have elapsed. Had that injury stoppage for Bingham, so there will be a little bit more time left, but it's at the generosity of the referee now. Gully need to go direct and quickly. And again, fortune not on their side. Free kick given away by Braden Portelli. That may well be Hume home. Just cleared for distance. Well, Hume have well and truly given up the ghost now of an insurance policy fourth. The heavens have opened here at Nasiel Stadium. When I say heavens, it's a very light drizzle. It has all happened here tonight. Is there more drama en route? It all has to go right for Gully from here. Looked on its way by Bingham. Hodges couldn't control. Big up and under. Portelli contest, but lost it in flight. Domfey looks to lock it in. Bingham nearly coughs it up. Gully keep winning it back. But can't make anything of it. Can't be long now. Win up. Nugent away. O'Kane clears. Hume City hold on. Another 3-2 thriller at Nasiel Stadium. Goes the way of the home side. 3 goals and 3 points that they were made to work for on their home turf. Twice they took the lead in the first half through Harry Ashcroft and Rob Harker. Twice Green Gully fought back through Adisu Bayo and Elio and Kifley. It was a tempestuous, hot affair. But Hume City found the second half goal that counted. Rob Harker doubling his money, a third goal in the space of a week. For an
return to the winners list for Gully's men. Very entertaining Friday night football feast at Nasiel Stadium, which has been a pleasure to call from myself, Lockie Flanagan, and Adam Sariakoglu. It's good night from Nasiel Stadium. The full-time score, Hume City 3, Green Gully